Tell us about this Constitutional Commission. Is it at last going to get rid of the anomaly that dissed your government, really?
I think we will probably be tackling this question of the Senate being able to hold up the House of Representatives. I mean, after all, if our Constitution had been framed after the British limited the power of the House of Lords in 1911, there's no doubt that we would have had a limit in that respect on our Senate. And of course the New South Wales Legislative Council had limits placed on its power to hold up money bills back in 1934. So I would hope that our Constitutional Commission will make that basic updating, that it's not possible for the Senate to hold up things any more than it's possible for the Lords or the New South Wales Legislative Council.
Isn't the anomaly, as you stated in your book, that there was a monarchical system in which the monarchy did not have a voice, in other words?
Yes, well, of course, that was brought to a head by the situation I've just mentioned. Yeah. That where the Senate had refused to pass money bills for the first time since the Constitution was done 3/4 of a century before, the Queen's representative stepped in a way that the Queen would never have done if she'd been here, or than she would ever be tempted to do in Britain where she lives. But there is, as you say, that basic trouble about the monarchy. And we have a monarchy, and the monarch can't do her job because she can't live here. Sure. There's another thing, that the representational aspect, if the Queen goes abroad anywhere to one of her realms, she is always seen as Queen of England, Queen of the United Kingdom. Even if she visits Papua New Guinea, she's never seen as Queen of Australia. Or if she visits Australia, nobody coming from Papua New Guinea, nobody thinks that she's been there as Queen of Papua New Guinea. She visits both places as Queen of England. So the ceremonial role that monarchs can perform is denied to Australia by its monarchy.
So it's not the Queen you're trying to get out of the picture, it's the fact that the representative can actually interfere in Australian politics because of this
I think the Queen does a superb job as head of state in the United Kingdom. She's the most experienced head of state in the world. She's a very well-informed, conscientious person. And but that doesn't mean that I have to pretend that she can do a job in Australia. She can only do a job in Australia as a visitor. Now, there's no doubt that if she was living here, she would do the job better than any Governor-General or the host of governors that represent her. But she can't. That's the practical situation. The head of the Commonwealth, which she would remain when we become a republic, doesn't have any power in any of the countries of that, but she can only have constitutional powers in Britain.
Geoffrey, you're not too hot on the monarchy anyway.
Well, I've been a Republican a lot longer than Gough. I mean, you date your republicanism from when was it? From November the 11th, 1975.
That's true.
I date mine from about the age of 6, when I was one of thousands of school children who were dragged out to the Sydney Showground in the boiling heat. 3 hours we stood and fainted in the sun, and then in the distance the Royal Jeep could be hove into view.
It was a Land Rover. I was there.
It was a Jeep, and we got
still British, it's not Land Rover.
Land Rover.
A limp wave of the wrist. Where were you? You were in the shade, obviously.
She did very well. They were late. There were thousands of us there, all standing in the showground with little flags.
That's right. That's right. Did you find the toilet?
At least I stayed upright. A lot of children fainted. I admit some of them fainted. Yes. But she was late. She was unavoidably delayed. So when the Land Rover arrived, it was doing 80 miles an hour. And, it went past us like a bullet. But she was holding on a hat. I thought she behaved very well, and he saluted. But I was so self-conscious, I could feel her eyes on me as I waved my little flag.
I couldn't feel her eyes on mine. She obviously
turned
in the wrong direction. You've been a royalist ever since.
It's a temperamental difference. Some of us are born conservative and others not.
I've always thought, obviously, in theory, that monarchy was a ridiculous and elitist form of government. But it didn't worry me because the monarch didn't live here. But of course, when I realised that the monarchy could be manipulated here by dishonourable representatives, then I changed my mind.
Well...